Okay, just got done with the post-game media stuff. Got to hear from Mr. Tibbs. Got to hear from Mr. Randle. Got to hear from Mr. Barrett. Got to hear from Mr. Quickly. Recording this, by the way, yeah. So after I took some questions before, had a chance to settle down now after that win, because God, was the excitement flowing through my veins after that one, as it should be for every Knicks fan. I just want to say a couple more things, because I really do feel some wins are more significant than others, and that was a big game. It was a big game because of how they won it. It was a big game because, again, that's a game that this team loses 10 times out of 10 in years past, where they come out and, start hot, and then the other team fights back, and then, the Knicks just lay down and die, because that's what the Knicks always do. Not this Knicks team. And you listen at the post games, and it's the same thing over and over and over. Tibbs, the players, everybody, about the preparation and about commitment to winning and commitment to the right plays. And it's easy to say all that shit. It really is. We've heard it before in a lot of training camps early on in past seasons, but those sound bites tend to subside more and more as the seasons go on in years past, because you can't stand up there and say those things when you're losing game after game and you're not playing the right way and you're not playing unselfishly. And they continue to do that. And what made Julius Randle's performance tonight so incredible is that it was a microcosm of his entire year. And I say that not because of the points that he scored, because he's been scoring all year, but obviously, 44 points is a new season high, almost a new career high. But because even though he has every right to be taking way more bad shots for this team than he's taking right now, and I shouldn't even say that, because I don't really think he's taking any bad shots for this team. Even though he has the right to do that, because he is clearly more talented than anybody else on this team. All due respect to RJ Barrett and Emmanuel Quickly, who are young players who at some point, will be in contention for the level that Julius Randle is at right now. Hopefully, we pray. Right now, they're not. And no one else is. All due respect to Derrick Rose, former league MVP. He ain't there right now. I don't know who else you want to say. Julius Randle could be taking all kinds of bad shots. If you look around the league, other stars, Trae Young tonight, when he wasn't, winding his way to the foul line, taking, off the dribble 28, 29 footers. Like, he's a he's a third year player, and he's doing that shit. Other stars around the league do it. Just take bad shots. Julius Randle has not done it. Even when he had it going tonight, just as he has every other game this season, if there is a play to be made that does not involve him shooting the ball, he will make the play. He will make the pass. Time and time again tonight. I think he only ended up with 4 assists, but there were so many other passes that he made to guys who were open and just missed a shot. And the Knicks, have a lot of guys who are going to miss shots when they're open. I know they hit a lot of threes tonight, but just in general, they don't have a lot of guys who convert as many open looks as some other teams, which is why when I keep listening to podcasts and reading stuff from NBA analysts and this, that, and the other thing about who's their NBA All-Star or who's on their NBA All-Star team, and it comes to Julius Randle, and it's always the same shit. Oh yeah, he's having a really nice season, really nice season for New York. Didn't make my team, but really nice season for. Fuck that. No. When you have a guy who is doing as much for his team as Julius Randle is doing, and making every right play, and has them within a game of 500 with the talent level that they have, and with the preseason expectations that they had, There's no he's having a nice season, but he didn't quite make my team. No. Julius Randle's an NBA All-Star. And if you, NBA analyst, need to watch some more games for Knick games for that to be a reality for you and for that to sink in, do your homework, man. Because shit, like, it's obvious. It's obvious because he does more for this team than just about anybody else. You want to say, okay, you want to give me Joel Embiid, you want to give me Giannis, you want to give me Kevin Durant. I'll hear arguments on those three. That's fine. But he's doing more for his team than, just going through the standings. He's doing more for the Knicks than either of the Celtics guys are doing for their team. He's doing more for the Knicks by far than either of the Pacers guys are doing for their team. By the way, all of a sudden, Knicks 14-15, Pacers 14-14. Like, I don't want to hear NBA record as being an argument for Sabonis or Brogdon. Like, Julius Randle goes in ahead of those guys. You take Chris Middleton off the Bucks, you take Drew Holiday off the Bucks, you take Ben Simmons off the Sixers. Those teams are still going to be fine. They're not going to be as good. You take Julius Randle off the Knicks, they have 14 wins. What do they have? They have 3 wins? They have 4 wins? 5, maybe, if that. I don't think so. I think they're the worst team in the league. Going down the line, Gordon Hayward doing a lot for Charlotte. Doesn't have Julius's total impact in terms of numbers. The team isn't as good. He definitely has more help. Zach LaVine, sorry, Bulls are 11-15. I know he's putting up great stats, but the on-off numbers say, you know what? His team doesn't really miss him all that much at all when he's not in the game. They're better when he's on the bench. That's what the numbers say. No such story for Julius Randle with the Knicks. You want to give me what? Trae Young? You want to give me Bam Adebayo? Those teams aren't even in the playoff picture right now. Trae Young's a one-way player that puts up brilliant offensive stats. His numbers are better than Julius on the offensive end. Julius has been a two-way player. Julius's team is better. You want to give me that Young is more important for his team than Julius is for his? Again, that's a conversation, but whose team's better? So even if Trae Young means a little more, the proof is in the pudding here with Randle. Same thing with Bam Adebayo. Until Jimmy Butler came back, where were the Heat? Julius Randle doesn't have Jimmy Butler coming through that door. So I'm sorry, Bam Adebayo. I know you are the love of every NBA analyst's life, and you make like every little play and do so many little things. Well, guess what? Julius Randle's doing a lot of that shit too. And if you'd watched every game, you'd have known it. And I know people who are listening to this right now and watching this who have watched every game have seen it with their own eyes. I mean, please, people trying to make a case for Nikola Vucevic, 10-18 Magic. I mean, Bradley Beal's going to get in, and that's fine. But Washington's 8-17. Like, you don't think Julius Randle could be putting up 30 points a game right now if he wanted to with how he's been playing? And the Knicks would be worse off for it, which gets me back to the first thing I said. He's making the right play, always making the right play, does not take a possession off on defense ever. He was doing that left and right last year, does not do it this year. He's making an impact on that end of the floor, a positive impact on that end of the floor. I don't know what else the man has to do. If you are looking and you are paying attention and you don't think that Julius Randle, the best player, the only player, I'll end on that note. You look at the top 6 seeds in the East right now. Philadelphia 76ers have 3 guys in the All-Star conversation. Joel Embiid, Ben Simmons, Tobias Harris. Milwaukee Bucks, 3 guys in the All-Star conversation. Giannis Antetokounmpo, Chris Middleton, Drew Holiday. Brooklyn Nets, 3 guys in the All-Star conversation. Probably going to have 3 guys that make the team. Kevin Durant, James Harden, Kyrie Irving. Indiana Pacers, 2 guys prominently in the All-Star conversation, Sabonis and Brogdon. And I've heard people mention Miles Turner as a guy who should get some consideration. Boston Celtics, 2 guys who are probably going to make the team, Tatum, Jaylen Brown, and a guy who made the team last year in Kemba Walker. Every single one of those teams, 3 guys, 3 guys, 3 guys, 3 guys, 3 guys. New York Knicks, there isn't, I mean, again, all due respect to RJ Barrett, who is having a wonderful season as a second-year player, considering where he was last year and considering what some of the expectations were for him coming into this year. But he's not in this conversation. There is no one else remotely in the outskirts of the All-Star conversation. It's just Julius Randle. He's doing everything and more. So, I don't know whether he's going to make it. I know he's not going to get voted in. Maybe the other coaches in the league look at this and be like, "Oh, that's all Thibodeau. We'll vote for Tibbs for Coach of the Year, but we can't put Julius as an All-Star ahead of some of these other guys." That's wrong, because look, I have sung Tom Thibodeau's praises as much as anyone. I quite frankly admire the man. I think he has done something that for everybody who again wants to complain about things he's not doing right or things adjustments he need to make. The team is where the team is, and a lot of guys have come here before and had more talent to work with and done a lot less with it. So Tibbs should get all the praise in the world. It's looking like him and Quinn Snyder for Coach of the Year right now. I don't even know who else you'd put in that conversation, to be honest with you. But don't use that to discount how important Randle is, because Tom Thibodeau is a great coach. He's not a fucking magician. And if he didn't have a horse to tie his wagon to this year, this team would not be anywhere near where it is right now. And they're 14-15, still have the 3rd best defense in the league, got a positive scoring margin. This is not fool's gold. He's an all-star. He's an NBA all-star. And that is that. And on that note, thanks for listening to the post-game pod, guys. And see you soon.